Some of the best traits of human nature are those bestowed upon people born in the year of the dog. During one of those very auspicious years, the Kemp model was reborn. One could argue that it was first developed in the year of the pig, which was 1971. There were 3 editions of Jerry Kemp's Designing Effective Instruction published by Fear and Publishers, and over time, and in 1994, it was redeveloped into the learning model it is today. A powerful quote can be pulled from the preface of Designing Effective Instruction, and in Kemp's own words, planning for student learning should be a challenging, exciting, and gratifying activity. True to the characteristics of the year in which it was redesigned, Kemp's model accomplishes just that straightforward and smart goal. When looking at employment typical of people born under the sign of the dog, you can find teachers, psychologists, writers, politicians, clinicians, etc. The applications in which Kemp's model can be applied run parallel to this description. As discussed in Kemp's 3rd edition of Designing Effective Instruction, the model had an emphasis in the business world, but could be applied to a myriad of professions outside of the business, including military and government, higher education, and clinical education, among others, as it incorporates both behavioral and cognitive approaches. Let's talk about how the model itself works. Kemp in 1994 states that a design model must be flexible to accommodate the demands of the job, yet maintain the logic to produce an effective product. And then he goes on to expound upon this definition to state that a design model must grow with the instructional designer. The Kemp model accomplishes this by removing the linear step-by-step approach and utilizes ovals to demonstrate its fluidity. He also emphasizes the term element over steps or stages. This allows for the instructional designer to jump in anywhere and continue working with the model, and to not get caught up within one aspect of the overall process. For example, not all projects will require assessments. Some models may require these, but with Kemp's model, you may determine that these are not needed and you can still continue to work. Within the inside circle, you can see the 9 elements. They are interrelated, meaning that decisions made can affect the others. So let's go through them quickly one by one. With this first element, you can identify the instructional problems. Examine intended audience. And here we can describe the demographic characteristics of the learners and their background knowledge. Analyze subject content. Here we can consider the real-world applications of the content from the learner's perspective. Write instructional objectives. Here we can define the cognitive and behavioral skills the learner will perform because of the instruction. Order instructional content. Here we can determine a logical sequence for the instruction while considering variables such as prerequisites and levels of difficulty. Decide how to present material. Here we can develop instructional strategies for recall, integration, organizational, and elaboration. Some examples could be memorization, or generating questions, or creating diagrams. Develop the instruction. Here we can decide how to introduce your message to the audience. Develop evaluation instruments. Here is from where you can conduct formative or summative evaluations based on standards of achievement. Select relevant resources. Here we can also identify supplementary resources such as media and examples, equipment, and even personnel to support your instruction. Kemp's model has many advantages and strengths as it borrows from ideas from many disciplines. This framework is both behavioral and cognitive, making the instructional design flexible and adaptive. It's very fluid and it allows for movement and growth as well as ease of application. It doesn't bind designers to external constraints that might impede projects. The elements within it can also be reordered to fit any situation, allowing for ongoing maintenance and revision of projects. Kemp was aware that his model might not be ideal for all situations, but he understood that it is a model that solves real-world instructional design issues, allowing for projects to not become stifled and to continue for instructional design to be accomplished. Unfortunately, because it is so fluid, there are some perceived disadvantages or weaknesses to the model. Due to flexibility, if something changes within the project, other elements are impacted as well, and this means that this model will require a greater amount of documentation because decisions made within one element will affect the others. We thank you for watching our presentation on the Kemp learning model. Several resources were utilized in the making of this presentation and are listed on this slide. The music utilized throughout the presentation is available on bensound.com.